Hello, this is Sabrina Taro 808 with some cosmic guidance during this stormy, cosmical, karmic weather. Um, Feel free to share your story below if you've been going through tower moments. I certainly have been, and I know a lot of people around me as well. This feels very similar to the energy that everybody was feeling on 2020 in March, which was when Saturn was ingressing in Aquarius, and where things went belly up for the entire world, and we all had so many difficult life lessons and spiritual lessons, and a lot of heartache and testing of our strength, and especially of our spiritual strength as well, of having faith of during uncertainty, during times of uncertainty. So this is also a similar message for the collective, the dark night of the soul that we're going through again. I started this channel with such a video about the dark night of the soul that we were all going through, and it still feels like that. But now, instead of it being placed on the value of the individual, this storm feels like a collective on regards to our relationships to others. And here I'm using here on my left is my phone. Considering taking phone readings. If you'll be interested, you can write below in the comments, and I can send you an email with the details. But on regards to the planetary dice and the dice that I have here for the houses and the to give me like an overview what's going on with the astrology, we start definitely, and this is very similar to the energy of another astrologer that I was listening to, and it feels like that. I think we a lot of us are connecting to that same energy, and of the planets, of course, the energy and the cycle that they're putting us all through for a purpose and a reason. And it does feel like it does have to do with relationships, probably. Uh, there's situations in your life, tower moments, that have to do with personal romantic relationships, or relationships at work, or relationships with the family as well. Certainly there's a testing of that house and that planetary house for everybody, and there's lots of things that we need to learn from that. And so I made a reading for knowledge from the universe, from the tarot cards, as to what is this dark night of the soul teaching us about. um, so I'm just letting this free flow in an authentic way. I, of course, I apologize for any imperfections of the video, such as somehow my microphone always has interference, so it makes like kind of weird sound in between. I hope it's not recorded this time, but I don't want to waste the magical connection with the universe and the reading because of imperfections. I think that's very human, and I think it shouldn't hinder the passing of the message for whoever needs to hear it, and for whoever finds this video to resonate. So back again with the dice after the long introduction, which I know is not popular for videos, but if you're hanging in there still, it's because you want to know what's going on. So we have the energy of Libra back into concentrating with the dice. Libra is the house definitely of relationships, and relationships of all kinds, from romantic, from like soulmates and partners, to um, people in your life, or even dates, from romantic love to relationships and work. If you see, if actually, well, work it's a commitment, right? It's a commitment of your time. It's a commitment to follow certain guidelines and to deliver certain product or results. And so it is in a way a relationship as well. And we're seeing that there's an energy of a fight between the following. So we have Libra as being what we're waiting the weighting as the scale of the weights of what is fair, because Libra is a lot about fairness. Libra is the diplomat. Libra cares about social justice. Libra cares about philosophy. Libra cares about the law as well. And Libra cares that everybody feels well in an organized society. That's what the sense of Libra gives to all of us, is that social pact, in a way, like the social pact from this Siberian wolf that if you happen to have read the book. And if not, you can check it out on Google. You can Wikipedia it and know what I'm talking about, what I'm referring to. But that social contract, that in order for us to live in society, there's certain guidelines that we are to follow. And there's a revisiting right now of what it means to be in relationships, what it means of all kinds, from work to the romantic relationships and our family relationships as well, and with whom we want to spend them with. So going forward from the energy of Libra that we're feeling, I'm also feeling the house 4 in astrology, which has to do with our upbringing. It has to do with our house. It has to do with our inner sanctum. It has to do with what we hold dearest to us. So of course there's a sense of who we want to keep close to us in our close environment. Who do we want to let in our lives, in our homes, in our minds. And with the sign of Sagittarius, Sagittarius also has this in common with Libra of course, being forever looking for the ideal justice level, the harmony of level, the balanced level of harmony and justice for everybody. Um, there's this philosophical and utopical way of looking at life, but not in a well-directed Sagittarius energy is not only about like on undirected hippie movement. Yeah, make love and not war, and we should all kumbaya together. It's more than that. For an energy of Sagittarius to be well accomplished, it has to have one point, and it has to be directed, well directed to making a change or expressing itself in the correct way, so that actually, because that's a kind of a problem that Sagittarius has, or something to overcome. That doesn't mean that if you're Sagittarius you have not overcome that, but it depends on which spiritual side of your own sign you're at. But it's about keeping through. It's about having the determination to follow through with whatever impulse you had, or whatever project that you made. And of course, in order for it to be important, it has to have a lot of meaning. So there's also this philosophical energy going on, what it means to work, what it means to be in a relationship, what it means now after the pandemic, our relationship to work, our relationship to others, and that we realize that our lives as a collective feel very different, because before we didn't have this sense of life being so fleeting, and death being something so close to all of us, and our freedoms being taken in order, well, for good reason, but being having to slow down in order for things not to get terrible, right? And that's also a time to go within and to evaluate ourselves, and to evaluate our relationship to life, to time, the passing of time, how you want to spend each of your days, with whom you want to spend each of your days. As time slows by, you have more time to pay attention, and as a lot of people were made to be in a close environment with their partners, with their family, and or working together in any kind of business, which of course maybe if you were even working remotely, that's as well um, another way to see work. I mean, things have changed, and our relationship to how we want to connect with the world has changed greatly. We also have here the number 7, which again is, and 7 here again, and I think there was another 7, two sevens. Well, here's 7 and 7. And that's the house of Libra, so it definitely has to do with relationships, and our balance of the balance that we have with the relationships in our lives. 2 is the house of how we are with others as well, and the energy that we give to others, and as well as our relationship to money. There was this astrologer that what's her Nadia. Um, I'll put the link below. But she's great. She's a great astrologer, and she makes a lot of sense, and she's very concise. And the information that she gives about the what's going to happen, and definitely there's that energy of our self-worth, as she was saying, and where we want to spend that time with others, and how we want to spend that time with others, and the way that others are communicating with us. The other three here being three here again being the number of communication, the way we're connecting with others, or the way. And three is also not, the message is not only about passing a message, but it's how you're receiving the messages. So it's an evaluation as well of if there's a balance in your life, if it's aligning with the philosophy of your life with Sagittarius, if it's something that is balanced, if the way that you're connecting with others and the others are communicating with you and interacting with you, if it's in a balanced way that feels resonating with who you are. And there's energy of the sun, and the sun can bring light to a lot of darkness, or it can bring a lot of light to things that we didn't want to see, and it brings a very potentiating energy to the other planets or whatever is going on, so it can exacerbate energies to positive or to negative depending on where they were heading. And here at last we have the South Node, and the South Node is the things that we need to leave behind. So there's also this um, evaluation of the type of relationships that we need to leave behind, work relationships and romantic relationships as well, and the way, and even family relationships, how we deal with others. There's that sense of being shaken and really analyzing why things have happened the way they've happened and how we want them to keep happening. How we're in a point, in a breaking point, because whenever there's a tower moment, it's a great breaking point when you get you hit rock bottom of seeing things as they really are, because finally all your, like the blinds from your eyes have come away, and you no longer have the need to make things fit. You're already so tense that you um, break to pieces, and when you hit rock bottom is when you see the reality of things, and you have a great opportunity either to keep to and if you wanted, you could keep digging yourself a hole in the ground when you hit rock bottom, or you can decide that the as you hit rock bottom, that the only way after that is up. And so for me, there's an energy that I've been feeling on the last weeks, and I've kind of like a word that I heard in my head, veritas, which means truth in Latin. But more than that, it comes from the myth that Veritas is the daughter of Saturn, and Saturn is father of time. Saturn is he brings hard life lessons, harsh life lessons of things and cycles that no longer resonate in our lives, that need to fade away, and they break down in the most terrible kinds of way. I mean, they feel like they definitely feel like the Three of Swords, right? It's the Tower and the Three of Swords for necessary crumbling down of paradigms. And that is a very powerful moment. Of course, it feels horrible, but it's a very powerful moment in the sense that it can be very transformative. And if we can find a way, of course, first to rest down, to regain our strength after we've been hit by bad news, is to regain our strength, to recollect our ideas, and to rebuild ourselves in a way, and in a way that when things from your past life or when cycles in your life are totally shattered, the great thing about it, the great liberation, the freedom from that, is that you no longer have to play that game. Once all the connections are shattered because something has hit rock bottom, you no longer need to be juggling things that for a long time didn't make any sense to you, but you kept doing the motions because you were already in the program. You were already following a routine, a path, and you didn't want to break things until things break by their own weight. And that can be actually a very liberating moment once, of course, you go through that. You're able to rest and regain your strength, because it does feel like you've been beaten up when you get the bad news from the tower. I hope that was helpful. I'm gonna cut the video here, just as like more of a philosophical and dark night of the soul introduction, and I'm gonna proceed with the video with what the tarot cards are telling me, and I'm gonna be doing that, moving the camera so you can see all the cards, so that it is more interactive, and it provides further information as to what are the life lessons from these tower moments that we're all going through.